Sabaha everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to compare the Galaxy S10 Plus running One UI with Android 9.0, and we're going to put it head to head, comparing it to the Oxygen OS running Android 9.0 OnePlus 7 Pro. Both of these devices are running the Snapdragon 855 and of course some of the latest specifications on the market, but let's see which one actually performs better. We're going to do a speed test as well as a RAM management test. This is TK, let's check it out. Like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're always notified whenever we put out new videos on the channel. And if you'd like to be able to save $10 on your next order from OnePlus, please make sure to check out that coupon as well. So what we have in front of us is both the Galaxy S10 Plus and Snapdragon 855 model in the US, and on the left we have the Snapdragon 855 OnePlus 7 Pro. Now, in the past, I've done a comparison between the S10 Plus and the OnePlus 6T running the Snapdragon 845, and if you'd like to see that, we'll give you guys a link right there in the card, so you'll be able to check out that video before we move forward here. But let's not waste any time. As far as the main specifications that basically make them very unique, now we're not talking cameras because those are not basically part of the competition today, but what we're looking essentially is that we have a 6.3-inch display on the right to a 6.67-inch display on the left, both running QHD resolution. This one runs at 90 Hz, this one runs basically a maximum of 60 frames per second. We have a combination between 6 gigs all the way to 12 gigs of RAM on both of these models. I do have 12 gigs on the Snapdragon version here on the OnePlus 7 Pro, and on here on the right side I have 8 gigs of RAM, so just keep in mind there is a little bit difference, but again, anything over 8 gigs of RAM, I think we're way more than what we need. For the comparison, I loaded the exact same applications, general applications that we use on a daily basis. So I have the clock to be able to start our timer. I also have the Play Store, the gallery, and that's going to be unique to this one. So the gallery application for the OnePlus device will be on this one. Google Photos, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, of course, Hangouts since I use that, Play Music, Chrome as well, and Netflix as well. Amazon Shopping, Snapseed for video editing, PUBG as far as the game, and of course Monument Valley. So those are the two games that are loaded on both. Just keep in mind the icon pack may be a little bit different. We do have a camera application, again unique to the devices themselves, as well as Dropbox, Drive, and the Google search application. So basically clicking that just takes us into a standard Google search. I've also disabled the gesture navigation to make things a little bit easier for me to jump between applications. The goal essentially is to see which one does better as far as loading all of these applications, and then we'll go back and check which one keeps them in memory. So we'll see basically how the RAM management functionality works. As you can see, it took us 1:20 seconds as far as loading all the applications, and then when we went back into them, it seemed like a few of them did actually have to reload, like the gallery application, Instagram and Twitter both needed to reload, and it also seemed like Hangout needed to reload. So overall, not a bad timing as far as just basically being able to load everything, but as far as actual RAM management, not everything stayed in memory. And again, just to keep in mind, we have 8 gigs of RAM on this, so it's not necessarily the base model. It definitely has more than enough to keep all of these applications running. Let's go ahead and switch over to the OnePlus 7 Pro. So as you can see, it took us 1:12 seconds to be able to load all of the applications. And then when we went back through all of them, if I'm not mistaken, at least at the bottom here, it looked like Drive needed to reload itself, or even maybe Dropbox itself. But overall, again, almost all the applications are still running in memory. As far as Gallery, Instagram, Twitter, and Hangout, all of them stayed in memory, and they're all really running still pretty good in the background. So overall, as far as RAM management and speed, it looks like the OnePlus 7 Pro does have a little bit of an edge. Just as long as you're comparing it straight to the Galaxy S10 Plus, we're about a second faster. Now, one of the things that could have attributed to the difference in time between the two is the game launcher functionality. And what I mean by that is, on the OnePlus 7 Pro, by launching a game, you automatically jump into gaming mode. On the Galaxy S10 Plus, you actually have to launch a separate application. So to keep them head-to-head, I kept the game applications pretty much, or all the applications in sync, and I did not use the game launcher. But just to do a straight comparison, see, does PUBG load faster or as fast as it runs here on the left on the OnePlus 7 Pro if we open up the game launcher first and then launch it directly from inside? We can definitely see that the performance between the two is actually very, very close. But again, keep in mind, just to keep them apples to apples, I didn't use the game launcher because that's a separate application that I would have had to jump into, which would have added even more time to the overall time processing, if you consider the fact that I have to launch a separate app before I get into it. Now, as you can see, there is a slight difference between the two. Both of these devices are definitely still very fast and a lot faster than some of the other devices on the market. The 8-second difference is probably attributed to the way Oxygen OS is running over the Snapdragon 855, and of course the 12 gigs of RAM that we have on this device. Now, keep in mind, 8 gigs of RAM is way more than enough than most devices I even have. The Galaxy devices actually start at around 6 gigs of RAM. They have an 8 gig model, which is what I have. And of course, they do have a 12 gigabyte model that's basically the top of the line device as far as the Galaxy S10 Plus. But when we look at them as far as comparison, they're pretty much neck and neck. RAM management was also again given to the OnePlus 7 Pro, as it did keep more of the applications in the device. I did notice a couple of them that did actually drop, and I think that was either Drive or Dropbox. But keep in mind, overall, as far as the big games, the big titles, most of them were still in RAM. As well as here on the Galaxy S10 Plus, we had a lot of applications stay in RAM. But just for some reason, Gallery, Instagram, and Twitter, they needed to be reloaded. But again, just keep in mind, both very fast, both great at RAM management. But if you're really considering looking at which one is the best as far as speed, OnePlus definitely still holds the crown there. So I'm definitely very happy that we did this test. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? And what other device should I pin the OnePlus 7 Pro against? Because I feel like the OnePlus 7 Pro is going to be the champ when it comes to speed, at least in this part of 2019. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you guys in the next video.